As you know, I love bringing in guests and discussing about whatever with them here on Tatiana Time. Today I brought in a very special guest who I'll be interviewing and discussing about ... because you'll be finding out later on here on this very episode. Enjoy! Hey guys, it's your host here, Tatiana Diomi. Welcome back to Tatiana Time on this upcoming series, upcoming artist. And today I'm here with
Josh.
Yes, and Josh, he's actually a fashion designer and he has a DMV based fashion brand called Nobody's Approval. And we're gonna get into, your fashion brand and just see, what is it about and like what you do and your artistry and everything. So like how did Nobody's Approval like begin? Like what was the process behind it? Who are the founders behind Nobody's Approval?
So it really started up between last year of March through May. It started from me and my brother. We just had an idea of like what would we do if we started making clothes. That was our first thought process. And then it started up as like what would be the name behind it. And then we thought of the name Nobody's Approval because we were low key getting in trouble a lot. So we thought of like, what if we just didn't have anybody's approval? So we thought of that name, like Nobody's Approval, and the meaning behind is for things that you strive for and the things like you go for, like um, you can not have nobody's approval for it. And we started it last year, and it's been growing like pretty steadily.
That's cool. So it's basically like a sibling thing between y'all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cool. And so you explained like why you started, your clothing brand. But do you also want to get into like any experience you have like with fashion, or like why did you want to become a fashion designer?
I really got into fashion at like a young age because I used to buy a lot of clothes, like normally like Nike, it was Nike, like Adidas and the normal stuff. But then I got really into um designer clothes and like more
Mhm.
of like the fashionista type of style. Uh and like once like my brand got incorporated with it, I really started like seeing what fashion was in a different like viewpoint, I'd say.
Mm.
Mm.
And is there any like streetwear brands or any like fashion brands in general that you're like inspired by and like maybe like inspired also Nobody's Approval as well?
Oh yeah. Like this one brand called Conflicted Lovers. Like they inspired me a lot because they actually did show support like when we first started out, and they just were like a brand that didn't seem like every other brand like you see out here, and it really had a meaning behind their clothes. And they were just like one of the first brands that I figured like was like cool, like um my style. But there's other brands like designer brands too, like gallery department too is very unique, and I like the um different type of style. Like I don't want to be like normal. That's what we really chose No Disapproval to be, like not normal.
Mm. And what does being a fashion designer mean to you? Like, do you have any past experiences with like designing or like any skills like merchandising?
um so I really don't think of myself as like a designer because like I'm really bad at drawing. Like I just see like designs and I will make a, a concept out of them. Like it could be a simple design. I don't really do fashion designing that much. Like I've made some of the designs for the clothes, but when it comes to more deep into fashion designing, I'm not that good at it. So I don't have that much experience like that.
And that's cool. Like again, like you're still like in a way you're still learning everything. Like I guess like do you maybe also want to go ahead into like your I guess your like clothing brand journey, your like fashion brand journey? Like, what does it mean? Like, or like, what is it like
Hmm.
being like a, I guess, an owner of a clothing brand, and like, what does it like
Hmm.
guess mean to you on like what you do on a daily basis, like to keep everything like, to maintain everything.
Yeah, there's a lot to maintain when it comes to this business. It could start from just shipping out orders to printing labels to just having to wake up early to make videos and to keep up making content and to just
Mm-hmm.
have your viewers something that they can keep going for, because if your brand just falls down and you're not doing anything for it, then it's just gonna all come crashing down. So having a brand is really like a it's like kind of like a job, because you have to keep up with it and you have to keep improving in what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So there's way more things that you have to do, but I'd say the basics is could be like just shipping out orders, because that's one of the main things where people get stuck on, because they won't even ship out orders. People take too long, and I wouldn't want my package to be like coming in late from a brand. So that's
Yeah.
one of the things that.
Yeah. No, I get it. Just like at the end of the day, being really consistent with your things, and like also not letting your customers down and stuff.
Hmm.
And speaking of videos, do you maybe want to go into like any like fashion projects that you've done for nobody's approval, like any photo shoots, any videos recently?
Okay, so we had just made quite a few bit of videos. We made like a little short cinematic movie, I'd say. Um, y'all can go check that out. It was like um, incorporating our brand into everyday life, really, because it was like a fight scene, and we had our models like act out, and we just wanted to show like with that video that like nobody's approval is just more than just pieces of clothing that you buy. It's more like a lifestyle. Like, you
Mm,
know, having this clothing on that we put out could mean that like you don't need approval for when you wear it. You don't need approval for what you do with it, this and that, third. So the videos we make, I'd say, are just like unique, more unique than others.
mm, that's cool. I feel like with your brand, like there's very much a meaning to it.
Hmm.
And yeah, like you mentioned before. And since it's also like a DMV based brand,
Hmm.
do you feel like, do you hope, I guess, maybe in the future to expand No Base Approval, like maybe outside of the DMV? Or like, do you feel like No Base Approval is putting DMV fashion or DMV in general on the map?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like the DMV is very close-minded, as you can tell, because when you live in the DMV, people don't really see your stuff for what it really is. They just like to, if they just like to see like how it contributes to their life, like, but the DMV is multiple different like people's like personalities and different things. So like when you try to make stuff for the DMV, you really can't just do one thing. You have to make it like for everybody to understand it. So we do want to like push it out to everybody, um other than the DMV, but it's kind of hard because people just think differently than when they're here and then when they're in like California, because like somebody from Cali could just think of our clothing like, oh, like it's just another brand, they don't do this and that, but somebody from the DMV could see our stuff like, oh wow, this is so cool,
Yeah.
like I don't know, I don't know how to show this to I want to show this to my friend in Utah, but he doesn't think it's that good. Like I think it's better. Like, so you have to make stuff that everybody can like.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's very inspiring, and that I have to give props to you for that because, in a way, it's like it shows like there's a like a community here in the
Hmm.
DMV, and it's just like anybody who wants to start up, in like a clothing brand in the
Hmm.
DMV. But it's like sometimes it's like, especially like with the opportunities and stuff, like because I guess some people are like it's you can get more opportunities outside of your hometown and stuff,
Of
but it's
course.
like at the same time like you also made it like possible to also in the DMV that you can start something here and then it can gradually grow and grow and grow, and who knows that you can also get more opportunities with this stuff that you started in your own hometown outside of your hometown.
Facts.
And I also wanted to ask, do you plan on doing any like live events, like any runways?
Yeah, yeah. Live events, definitely. That's something that we are striving to do like every day because we just had an event like a Met Gala. So where we had people dressed up in fashionable clothing and fashionable attire, and they came out. Um, we came out with a couple singers and dancers. We had an African dance team, and we also had a performance. We had performances from many different people, and we had a showcase from for with our clothing and another brand called New World, in which we both showed our clothing off in a cool little showcase. But it wasn't just a normal showcase. We had different scenes and plays and uh, plots with it, and that was really just like our startup to what we wanted to do. Like that's what we wanted to like hit the ball in because a lot of people really did like it, and we had around probably 300 to 350 people come to that event, and they really did love it because it just showed that the DMV could do more than just sell clothes, you know? So like an event like that is something you don't really see in the DMV. So
Mm. And
um
like again, just bringing back to the community in a way.
yeah. Yeah.
And just another question. Hmm. I did want to ask, where do you see, I guess, nobody's approval in like 5 years?
5 years I see us working harder towards our goals, and I see us in a bigger community, really like a bigger space, because I feel like there's going to be a lot more people that see the vision in 5 years than they do see now, because there's always a time where people just think that people aren't as big as they seem until they really see like the amount of people that are in their following, and not just saying like we're gonna have a lot of followers in 5 years, but we're gonna have a name to ourselves to where people can go down the street and be like, oh yeah, do you know Nobody's Approval? Yeah, I know Nobody's Approval. You know, like that type of like hype around us, you know.
Mm, I definitely see that. That you have a goal with this brand and definitely not only to make a name for yourselves, but you're definitely gonna have a following soon.
Hmm.
But I also wanted to ask this question. Usually, like some people when I ask them this question when it comes to interviews, but define yourself, I guess, as like a clothing brand owner or like designer in one word, and explain why.
Hmm. 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 One word, one word. I'm gonna say artistic,
Mm,
and not just in the sense of where I'm artistic in designing. I'm gonna say like artistic as in like I can really show something I'd make into art. I can show just really like how like I made how we made the gala. Me and my brother, we started up the gala with the other brand. We didn't want to make it something normal. We didn't want to do just a fashion show where everybody comes with normal clothing on and stuff, and they just sit down and watch us show our clothes for 5 seconds and get off the stage and leave. We
yeah.
incorporated to where it was artistic. We had our models do a little skit, like a little SpongeBob skit, where they had the tiki clothes on and there's the Squidward music playing, and they had their tiki outfits on, and they showed off, and then they took the tiki stuff off and they had our clothes under, and that was something artistic. I'd say that's something you don't really see at a Met Gala, and that's why they like people don't see the vision that we try to make out to be, and that artistic is that word that could be used for our brand, because the things that we do, the videos that we post, we put precision into it. We don't just post out something that we think that you guys would like just because we would like it. We really take time into what we do.
Mhm. And that's dedication right there. And are you also planning on doing any collaborations in the future with Nobody's approval?
Yeah, definitely. After our first collaboration, we definitely want to dive deep into more brands, into more places, and anything just as a collaboration. It could be a place, a person who wants to collab with us, or like any top brands or anything. Like we're open to all things.
That's cool. That's cool. And is there anything else you'd like to add?
Um, I just feel like the DMV fashion nowadays needs to get expanded, and we just need to really start expanding it and stuff like that. Um, we are still planning to have another event in the spring, because a lot of people did like the Met Gala, and we're still working on that. So, and we're working on making new clothing. We're working on making a sweatsuit this time, because we have not made any sweatsuits. We only have other stuff other than that. So I want to see how people are gonna like the sweatsuits that we make. Um, because we're gonna try to make it like a back to school wear. So
Hmm.
we're gonna see how that goes.
Okay, can't wait to see that. And
Hmm.
like, do you have any advice for any upcoming designers or like anybody who wants to start up a clothing brand in the DMV?
In the DMV, that's gonna be hard because people don't see people don't people will see what you do, but they won't help what you do. I'd
Mm.
say just find you yourself a group of people that are hard workers that want to get to where you want to be, and you guys need to and you people need to grind and be consistent in what you do, because that's going to really help your brand show off, and people are going to realize that. And for upcoming people, um when you when you make clothing, make it with make it with quality and with love as well. Yeah.
I love that last one. Yeah, make it with quality and love because it's always quality over quantity.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Josh.
Thank you. I feel
Yeah.
like I have more to say, but I just that's all I could get off right now. I feel like there's way more I should have said.
No, no, it's okay. I love how you also explained like, you went into like DMV fashion, but also like again, just feeling like anything is possible and like how also I think you just need to start something yourself and like
Hmm.
see who's gonna help in the along the way. But no, you explain your journey and your artistry when it came to Nobody's Approval and like, you speaking out on like future events and future things that are coming out soon. So you're keeping everybody engaged and stuff. So yeah, you're keeping being consistent, and that's what's important.
Thank you,
Yeah. Well, you have a good night. Thank you again.
thank you. I can't wait to tune in to watch my podcast.
Got you. All right. Have a good night.
All right, you have a good night too. Bye.